All right. So how many of you guys, quick show of hands, are in this to make some money? Go ahead. Go ahead. Big, don't be shy. Exactly. Make some money here. I'm going to show you what I think is the fastest way to do this, the fastest way to build this, the fastest way to get people engaged, and so on. All right. So show me the money, because I heard this years ago that it talks about the successful secret. I'm the first person I ever actually heard say this was Randy Gage. Randy Gage is one of the top network marketing trainers in the world. Most people know who he is if you're in the industry. And he said that the success secret in networking is to get a large group of people to do a few easy tasks over a sustained period of time. The problem with networking most of the time has been that the easy tasks, the circles on the dry erase board look awesome. They look easy. And the two who got two, who got two, who got two, and you're a millionaire by the weekend looks incredible. And that's a great pitch. But most people don't know how to get the first two circles going in a lot of cases. And it's a skill that you have to learn or has been taught. The system that these guys put out, which I'm going to go over, is, in my opinion, the best system I have ever used in networking, because I've been doing exactly this strategy, but I've always had to develop it myself, and I've had to send people to websites and different things and so on. All right, the system, and I heard this through, and I've never forgot this. And when I learned this phrase right here, and I started to study it and learn it, it changed my career back around. I think it was probably about 8 years ago when I started switching more to being more technical and more online stuff, because you can make data-driven decisions when it comes to marketing. Like big businesses make data-driven decisions. Systems are the leverage by which you turn ordinary people into extraordinary performers. If you think about McDonald's, every one of us could make a better burger than McDonald's. Obviously, we could probably just throw some meat in the yard and let it sit there for a while and it would taste better. But anyhow, um, you have to remember that when somebody buys a McDonald's as a franchise, they're buying it because the system is in place that they can actually bring on. And would we not all agree that the majority of the staff that work there are not extraordinary people that you're going to see on a TED talk, correct? I mean, most of these people are high school kids, because, and a high school kid can plug into it because the system is in place. So the problem with networking has always been that if you didn't recruit the highest level of person, like you didn't recruit somebody like me or Cowrie in your organization, a lot of times you didn't have that real big exponential growth, or you might have only had a handful of people. Whereas, I've seen people that if they just figured out ways to get the ordinary people to do simple things, it grew. This system, in my opinion, is the solution to that massive problem that's been going on in the industry, because great businesses do not look for extraordinary people. Great businesses like McDonald's look for ordinary people and leverage them with extraordinary systems. Okay, so let's talk about this. If you want to know what it takes to be successful, in my opinion, in networking, it is consistency. And I'm going to give you a quick story in reference to the company Cowrie and I knew it. When I was in the most money I had made, my first big money I made in networking was in that company, Zango. And I don't mind referencing it. I had a phenomenal experience. It was a great company and that kind of thing. And we made, seven figures plus in that thing. But here's what happened. We had a retreat for leaders, a leaders retreat where there was about 200 people from all over the world that came. We went out there. It was like a whole weekend thing, and it was the best of the best, like all the top moneyers, top 200 moneyers in the entire company. And I'm talking, to get into that, you had to be making like at least probably $25,000 a month kind of thing, right? That's the kind of money people were making. And I walked around the room. We went to a big party that night where we had like kind of a food and dancing kind of thing. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, there's just amazing. These people in here, I admire a lot of these people. And I was still pretty young. So this was 15 years ago. So I'm 52, whatever that is. So I took a piece of paper and I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to walk around to everybody. I'm going to ask them one question. I'm going to find all the top people I've admired. I'm going to say, what's the number one thing that you would attribute to your success? That was the question. And the first thing that they said, I was going to write that down. And so first person I walk up to, I said, hey, what's the number? I said, hey, Corey, what's the number one thing you attribute to success? And he goes, oh, that's easy. I, kind of do this, this, and this. And then I did that over and over and over and over again. I did it. I talked to, and as soon as they would say the answer, I say, hey, I'm taking a poll. Good seeing you. I got to go ask somebody else the same question. They would laugh and off I go. So I end up asking about 60 people because I wanted to have a big enough sample size to really get something. And then when I got back to my hotel that night, I looked at all my notes. And you know what the number one factor was that everybody had in common? It was consistency. In fact, the number one money earner in that company, he said, when I caught him as he was getting ready to walk on the bus to go back to the hotels, and I said, hey, his name, and I said, what's the number one thing you'd attribute to your success? And he said, that's easy. I swing the bat as many times as I have to. Occasionally I get a hit. Every once in a while I hit one on the park, and off he went. And up the things we went, and I was like this. That's the most brilliant thing I've ever heard. This was a multimillionaire telling me, and it was boom, it was instant because it was something ingrained in him, consistency. So when I learned that, it changed the entire course of my entire business forever. Since that point, I have never, ever made less than 6 figures in a company. Worst case, just bang, 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 bang. And I haven't done anything different. And it's new people. It's not bringing groups over or things like that. It's just I learned what works. And you want to see what it is? It's right there on the page. It's that top left thing. It says DMO, which stands for Daily Method of Operation. The daily method of operation is consistency, and I'm going to show you the formula. Whoever tells the story the most wins. That has been from day one of network marketing and its invention 100 years ago. So I would suggest to you that this is a very doable game plan if you want to make a good income. Okay, we're talking monthly with a comma and higher. Okay, you're welcome. You don't have to watch these trainings if you don't want, if you just want to make a couple $100. I'm just telling you. Okay, this is too easy, too good of a product. Just share some product and you're good. But 10 invites per day, 5 days a week will get you 50 invites. Now, before I go, I want to address this because it popped in my head. Is another thing that I learned that is written in, it should be written in stone, should be gold, that you never forget, is I'm always process focused, not outcome focused. Because the process or the core task, which if you can identify, which I'm going to show you what the core tasks are, I'm showing you right now. If you can identify what the income generating activity core tasks are, and you only get good at that, everything else falls into place. Everything falls into place. I'm telling you, the outcomes happen because of that. Okay. Now, Stacy laughs at me, my wife, Stacy, because of the companies I've done over quite a few years, she will look at me and she goes, you don't know anything about this service, do you? I go, no. She goes, you don't know anything about this product, do you? I go, no. I mean, I kid you not. I won't study it. I won't become a scientist or whatever. And it's almost mind boggling probably to her as to the kind of results I get, but it's not, I don't guess at this. This is consistency. All right. So if you do these numbers, if you do this, and this is actually track, if you want to know where I got a lot of this, it's track 6 off of, if you have a CD player, track 6 off of Jim Rohn's How to Build a Network Marketing Business CD. The law of large numbers. That's what he taught. On that track 6, he says, the law of large numbers dictates that if you do something long enough, a ratio will appear. If you do something long enough, a ratio will appear. So I have never, ever failed to do these numbers because I know they work. If I work the numbers work. 50 invites per week, 4 weeks out of the year, or 4 weeks. In a month's time, you would actually have 200 invites. Believe it or not, if you had 200 invites and you only had a 10% closing ratio, you would enroll 20 new people that month. And if you had, I'm sorry, I forgot to change that number, 20 new reps, I must not have saved it. So just that was top one should be 20 new reps. And the average first order that I have seen so far is around $400, believe it or not. Some people come in 100, some people come in at 3,000, but I've been seeing consistently 400 to 600 things. So I used the low one for you. The average first order is a $400 thing. That's a $60 commission that you make when somebody signs up for that package. If you get 20 people that average that times 60 bucks, you will put $1,200 into your pocket. Okay, disclaimer, I'm not making any income claims here. I'm just giving you math if it worked out in this way. This is a hypothetical. Your results will vary. There's my disclaimer. But think about that. All you're doing is inviting somebody to take a look at something. So let's talk about the system. Okay. The other thing in network marketing has always been about let's motivate people. We got to get them to events. That's why in network marketing, we always begged people to come to the weekly meeting, because that was the only way at that time we had to motivate them and keep them plugged in. Okay. I thought that when I heard this phrase, it changed my career again. Rather than motivate people to increase productivity, create systems to increase the productivity, and the motivation naturally follows. Because if I give you a system that all you do is use a system that works every single time, regardless of what you're doing, and regardless of who you bring in, they can use it, the whole thing changes. The whole paradigm changes. Okay. Now, we've all heard about funnels. Funnels is just a series of steps put in a strategic order where the objective is to take your prospects on a journey that makes them most likely to go from a prospect to a customer to a rep or a promoter. Okay, that's a funnel. Funnels. We all talk. You all hear that a lot. Everybody wants to do online funnels, that kind of thing. That's what this means. So let's talk about the system real quick. You have to. The rapid funnel system is what I'm going to promote as hard and heavy as I can possibly do it, because it works. Okay, because it works. It is everything I've dreamt about in network marketing as a system. And I'm going to show you why. Okay. You just go, it's an app, go to the app store, download it for free. And then once it's on your phone, you click on the button and it's going to have you set it up. Okay. You're going to set up an account. And then this is the phrase that you want to type in there, your group code. That's our team's code. That's what Calorie created. Go team, one word. Just remember that. Go team, one word. Okay. Once you do that, you're now getting all of the content from Calorie. And then obviously now that I'm kind of proven that I know what I'm doing, they'll probably put some of my stuff in there too. Okay. You set up your username, email, account, and so on. The important thing is you want to also obviously be signed up for as a rep before you do this, because you need to have your ID that goes there. What that does, it allows that every one of the web pages that you now text out through this system tracks to you. So if somebody clicks on it, they're going directly to your website. Okay. Once you click on it, walks you through the process. Welcome, Mike. Let's get you off to a great start. We'll add you some contacts. Okay. So you click that button. Now, once you go to the home page, this is basically the home screen. How we get somebody to talk about. So I'll give you an example, and I'm gonna give you details about recruiting after I go through the system itself. Okay, I'm gonna give you some tips. Is you literally just click on that little circle there with the person's head. You got two ways to do this. You can type their name in manually. So if you met somebody at a football game or at the store or whatever, and conversation came up and you gave them a sample, said, you know what? I can't explain this to you because I know I'll mess it up. So I'm going to text you a video. How many of you guys think you could say that? Raise your hands. I could say, hey, do you mind if I text you a video? Because I know nothing. This is me. I say that. Okay. Hey, I can't explain the science. It's incredible. Do you mind if I text you? Oh, no, that's fine. Understand this too. This meets everyone on a platform that they're already conditioned and comfortable with using, which is texting. Most people don't like phone calls anymore. Like, how many of you guys have ever called somebody, they didn't pick up, and then immediately they text back, said, did you need something? Yeah, I needed you to pick up your phone, you goof, right? That's what I was trying to do, is talk to you as a human being. So no, I'll just text it to you and we don't have to talk. Okay, you get what I'm saying. All right. The other thing is in the top right corner, everybody has at least 100 to probably 1,000 to 5,000 contacts in their current phone. I would probably assume. Okay. When you click on import, it pulls up your contact list. So what I've been doing recently is, let's say I'm online, and I'm going to show you a real world example in a second. Is yesterday I sit down and I set aside like 30-minute increments where I put music on in my office, in my desk sitting right here. And I'll put on like Depeche Mode, The Cure, AC/DC, Queensryche, some old 80s metal, and I'm just sitting here having fun, that kind of thing, something to get me fired up or whatever. U2, The Cure. I mean, I got a weird kind of thing of music. And I will sit here and I'll just maybe scroll through Facebook, see what's going on Twitter. And all of a sudden, people's names will pop up that have either liked a post I have or I see them post. And I'm like, man, I'd love to work with that person again. Or I would love to work with that person. That's all I think of. I would love to work with that person. Well, all of a sudden, a guy named Steve pops on here that I hadn't talked to in over a year, that I knew from way, way in the past. And so I click on there and I said, man, I'm going to send him something. So if you type somebody's name in there, what happens is you can add them as a contact. It just pulls it up and you say add contact, you walk through it. This is an example of me, because these are slides I made one before I did that. But so once you have the contact, you click on it to send them a resource. You click on the contact, you click send resource. Okay, this is the initial introduction. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you, and I'll promise you this is true. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Okay, never ever think about, because it's your process focused. Once I click send a resource, these are the things that are already pre-established. This is what's so cool. These are already pre-established. This is exactly what I am doing. I click on the DNA drops. I scroll down a little bit, and I think it's like the fourth or fifth thing. That's the sample and sizzle video. And you just put your thumb on there and you check it so it goes dark. If you ever want to know what you're sending them, you just click on those purple squares and you can see what you would be sending them. But I clicked on that. I'm like, that seems like the most simple. It's like a 2-minute video, right? It's not overwhelming. It just gave them a little thing, because I don't want this part, and this part 99.99% of the time is not going to recruit them. It's just going to create the possibility of an engagement or a conversation. Got it? Creating a conversation. Once I click that middle button is the texting thing. You can email it, and on the right, you could send it to their Facebook. But in the middle, I always text, and I click it. And then boom, this is what would happen. It automatically pops up, and there's a little bit of text. It says, here's the link to this video. Click it, and we will discuss. Okay, so that's that. What I've been doing myself is I'm taking it, I'm getting to that page, I click on it, and when this part comes up, I start to edit it. So right after, hey, Stacy, so if this was not my wife, it was a friend, I go, hey, Stacy, this is Healy. I do it like I would have a normal conversation. Hey, this is Healy. I just wanted to make you aware of a company that is just now launching in the United States with a product that's doing over $100 million in sales, and they're 9 years old, based out of Russia and most of Europe. I'm looking to work with some good people. When you get a second, check out the short video below. I scroll the bottom of that and I put thanks and I send it. Okay? Because I want them to read something, and I kind of want it sounds a little more personal, like something I would say. Got it? And then I click send. And then what happens is they get the email and they're like, I wonder what Healy's into. Wonder what he's talking about. $100 million company, 9 years old, but they're just now launching in the US, Canada, Mexico, Australia. These are all brand new markets about to open. I better see what the heck this is about. They click on it, they go here. They can request a sample. And obviously, if they request a sample, you send the sample out. They may have it to where the company will do it later, but right now you would send it out. And it's all personalized. And once they click on it, right, they go through, they watch the video. It's a minute and 20 seconds long. It's a minute and 20 seconds long, right? When they scroll all the way to the bottom, like I just showed you, learn more, request a sample. If they click on something, a lot of times they'll go to request a sample, they could get this page and so on, right? Now, here's the real world example from me yesterday. My friend Steve, I happen to see him on Facebook. I'm like, man, I'd love to work with Steve again. Steve's awesome. He lives here in Ohio. He's a great guy. So I find him in my contact list, just like I showed you with the green button down at the middle, bottom middle. I click it, I add him, I send him a resource. Exactly what I just said I did. I sent it to him. You see those things point there? Here's the really cool thing. Is those little gray boxes that have the number 11, the number 4, and the number 13. This is critical because the fortune's in the follow-up. Everybody knows that the fortune's in the follow-up, right? So now what I can do is I sent this to him, and when he clicked on the link, that gave him a point value on the contact. If he clicked on another link, the point value goes up. If he requested something, it goes up. So what I do is I look for people that have some points, 4, maybe 3, 4. I see that they're engaging, right? And what you can do is now I want to know what Steve is interested in. Think about this, okay? By going to his name, so I'm here, and when I click on him in the context, so in the bottom left, that's where you click context, it now opens up, and because he had some scores, I want to see what he looked at. Because if he just clicked on the one thing, it would only show maybe 1 or 2 points. But he's got 11 points already. So I click on activity log, and I can see that he's done certain things, that every couple minutes, and even this afternoon, he checked it out. Think about how easy prospecting is if you're only talking to the right people at the right time about the right thing. It becomes so much more powerful. And all you're doing is going through this. So what I did was I looked at what he was doing, and I saw the first few videos were product, product, product. So I sent him another one to check it out. Well, then he wanted to know about the website, send him that link, that kind of thing, and so on. Do you see the power of this? Okay. I took this screenshot this morning. This is my home screen for my APL Go, and I've only had this thing for what, maybe week and a half. I think they launched this. So I have put in, I've thought about it. I have taken half-hour increments in a day, and I contact somebody, or if I'm doing something. So I went to Key West last week. I didn't really get a lot of stuff done. I was on the beach a lot, but I'm laying on the beach, and all of a sudden somebody's name pops in my head from something I was looking at, right? You know how that happens. And I'm like, oh, I'd love to introduce that guy to this. And boom, 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 I send him the text. And I just check, I do exactly what I just showed you. Here's what's cool. You see that engagement of 50%? I have never seen engagement like this especially if being able to track it in my career. Okay. So what's cool is we're using a platform that meets people where they're at with something they're comfortable at, and it's giving us data to see what's happening, right? So you can, so that's what's so powerful about this. Now, the cool part about this system too is if you click more in the bottom right corner of it, you can get coaching. You can look at events, you can look at notifications, contests, but I've got coaching there. You want to know if you forget how to do something, there's 2 areas. You got the APL Go trainings, and you got rapid funnel trainings. So if you want to know how to add a contact, you forget this, you forgot what I said, you click on it, and it'll pull a drop down menu of all the videos. They're like 1 to 3 minutes long. Boom. What's another powerful feature that this thing has? The ability to not only see what your people are doing, but what people on your team are doing. Troy Bell, give me a big smile on there. Got it. That's you. Yep. Give me a woo woo. Go like this. Go like this. I know that's embarrassing, but too bad. But Troy did this morning, right? This is okay. So here's what this is. So Troy takes activity. Troy does his activity, and Troy gets the notifications. But because he added me during the process as his accountability partner by putting my email in there, when his prospects start getting some activity, I get a notification. And I love it, because this right here, getting notifications like this, tells me who on my team that I brought in is someone I need to work with more closely and contact on a more regular basis. Because you can put 10, 20 people in, but why waste your time with 8 of them if they're just they're just got their toe in the water, when you got 2 of them that are kicking butt and taking names? Those are your 2 people you focus on. You get my attention from activity. That's how I've always done things. Okay. This is powerful right here. So if you haven't got it, did I emphasize the power of this enough yet? If you haven't got it, get this and make it happen. Okay. So I'm going to kind of go through a couple things that I need you to think about. You can screenshot this or write this down because these will help you. I call them rules of recruiting. Recruiting is a process. It's not an event. Recruiting is a process, not an event. There are days when I'll put 10, 20 contacts in there and 2 people will take action. Then there's another day, the next day, I might put 10 people in and all 10 of them become reps. Like you can't, and don't even bother trying to figure it out. You'll go insane. Just don't even bother. But if you understand that it's a process, this is a long-term thing. 2 turns into 4, which turns into 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. You get the idea. Always, always, always do this. Learn to be the messenger, not the message. Most people hurt themselves in this business because they try to talk too much. They try to tell stuff. I use tools to answer almost every single question. And the reason for that is it's duplicatable on every level. Because Paul asked me a question about the comp plan, I will always typically send him a video to watch. The reason is Paul's brand new. If he signed somebody up this afternoon and he's only been in an hour, what does he know about the comp plan? Nothing, right? What if I'm gone? What if I'm on vacation again, right? But Paul said, oh, when I asked the comp plan question on Fast Starts, Mike sent me this video. My new person just asked me comp plan. I can send him a video. Do you see that? If you learn to use tools and let the systems do the work, it all falls into place. I can't emphasize this one enough. Say less to more people. The one thing that I will go through my list. I've added 80 some people already to the thing, and I'll go through and I'll look and I'll send, if there's people that I want to work with desperately, I will show them until they tell me to leave them alone. Once I've shown them and they still say, no, it's not for me, it's all good. I'm not mad. It's not anything like that. However, I don't chase people. I say less to more people. Remember law of large numbers? That's why making contacts with 200 people got the results. Like I've personally enrolled 32 people already. But guess what? I contacted probably close to 100 total people. Right before the system was there, I called some people on the phone because I didn't have the system for 4 days. Right? So it's cool. The other thing this does is it keeps it simple. I had dinner with some very good friends last night that are school teachers, and they were so stressed out as school teachers, it was insane. We've been friends, and they have been, they've been teaching for years. Are great, great people. And throughout this whole saga of the COVID thing, they've been just getting more and more stressed. And this was like last night, it's as bad as I've ever seen it. Okay. And we went out with them, right, and so on. And the lady, the girl the wife, she said, we just got to figure out another way to make money. She literally says this out loud. And I start laughing. And I tell her, I said, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I said, you know me, I'm not going to pitch you on anything because we're friends first. But I just made X amount of dollars in the last 2 weeks. And I'm going to show you how easy it's been for me to do this. And I grabbed my phone. I said, you know what I do? I mean, they know I'm a networker. I said, I got a hold of this product and it's amazing. The product works and it's incredible. And it's just coming to the United States. It's they're doing 100 million a year and they're already 9 years old, but we have the advantage of them now coming to the States. I think it's going to be enormous. So you see how I positioned it? I postured it right out of the gates. I said, but what's got me the most excited is how simple it is to show people this thing. And I grabbed my phone. I said, see this app? And I walked him through the process I just showed you on the PowerPoint. And they were like, that's it. Turns out this guy, the guy, his dad was like the #2 money earner in a network marketing company in the 70s. So I didn't know any of this. I'm like, you're kidding. He goes, my dad did meetings every single day. They were gone. He goes, you mean to tell me all I would have to do is send text to people? And I'm like, yeah. And he sat there and he goes, okay. Do you see what I did? I didn't explain anything. I showed him how to do it. I showed him how to do it because people ask themselves 2 questions. Is it worth doing it? Can I do it? Is it worth doing it? Can I do it? Oh, I forgot to, I forgot that was actually the next thing. Sell the system. You get what I just did? Yes, you do. We covered daily method of operation. Another important factor, again, another $1 million earner taught me this. Focus only on what you can control, not what you can't control. You cannot control whether somebody joins or doesn't join. You can't control whether they try the product or don't. So quit thinking about it. Focus on the process, and the outcome will happen. Okay. And this is the last one on this is never ever prejudge a person. Never ever prejudge a person. There are more people driving around in $100,000 cars and living in $1 million homes that are hours away from bankruptcy that you can imagine, that look like they got it going on, but they're desperately in debt, stress financially, and so on. So don't prejudge people. Another perfect story to remember on this is this. There was a guy that said, hey, I was walking down, he goes, what if you were walking down the street and you were about to go into this, you're in the city and you go and you walk by and you see this guy laying there, on the ground looking like a homeless guy. He's kind of all disheveled, that kind of thing. There's a broken vodka bottle next to him. There's blood, and he just kind of looks passed out. Would you think that was a good prospect? No, because we prejudged him because we saw his state of affairs. Turns out that was the president of the company that owned the high-rise building, and he just got mugged. And somebody hit him over the head with a bottle of vodka. You see the process there? It was, if we prejudge every time, you miss incredible opportunities. And I'm telling you, it's been more times than I can count, and I've learned my lessons, that I thought of people and thought, I don't know if I want to do, I don't know if that guy would want to do this. And I blew it off. And a month later, I show up and the guy shows up at one of our meetings and he's got 20 people with him. And you just want to cry because those 20 people should have been in your group, right?